Well, good afternoon, baseball fans, and welcome to Wilder Park on the campus of West Texas A&M University for this afternoon's Lone Star Conference matchup between the West Texas A&M Buffaloes and the Cameron Aggies. The Buffaloes come into today's game undefeated at 6-0 with wins over CSU Pueblo, New Mexico Highlands, and then a four-game LSC series opening sweep last weekend in Portales over Eastern New Mexico. The Aggies split a pair of series the past two weekends, splitting games with Texas A&M Kingsville and St. Edwards, and they bring a 4-4 record into today's game. Beautiful afternoon for baseball, 48 degrees, wind light and southerly at 7 miles an hour. If you're in the area, come on out. Otherwise, we are glad to have you on board. Leading off here for the Cameron Aggies will be shortstop Eric Oman. Come into today's game batting .313 with 10 hits and 3 RBIs on the season. The battery for the Buffaloes, Nick Marshall's on the mound. He's 2-0 in 2 appearances with a 0.00 ERA. His catching battery behind the plate is Kennedy Badgett. And the count goes to no balls and 2 strikes. Again, the wind light out of the south. Temperature this morning was in the low 20s, but with sunny skies and not a cloud to be seen, it has become a beautiful day. Pitch outside for a ball makes it 1-2 for the Buffaloes. Defensively, they have Ryan Johnson in left, Will Finnegan right, Paul Whitman in center. And there's first strikeout of the game for Nick Marshall. That will bring up right fielder Tyler Coleman. Coleman batting .320 in the young season. Around the infield for the Buffaloes, Adam Becker's at third, Mike Mineta at short, Isaiah Madrid, the second baseman, and over at first is Eric Ortiz. First pitch to Coleman is a strike. And there's a tapper to third. Gets by into left field. That'll be the first base runner of the game for the Aggies. That'll bring up Bo Williams, the second baseman, batting .276. Coleman on first has been successful stealing twice this season, 2 out of 2. Marshall's first pitch to Williams, a strike on the corner. There's a liner to center. Caught for an out as Paul Whitman was there to make the play. That'll be the second out of the inning and bring up the third baseman, Jace Clem. He's batting .360 for the Aggies. Clem, the Aggies' leading hitter, with 9 hits, 3 ribbies, and 25 at-bats thus far. Marshall's delivery, a breaking pitch outside. Buffs playing Clem pretty much straight away. Marshall's delivery. And there's a fly to right. Over getting under it, Will Finning makes the catch, and that will retire the side. No runs on one hit, no errors, one left for the Aggies in the top of the first. Buffs will be up after this. You're watching Buffalo Baseball on the LSC Digital Network.
WT student athletes drink low-fat chocolate milk post-workout because it helps replenish and restore muscles quickly to their peak potential. Scientific studies suggest that the immediate benefits of low-fat chocolate milk include boosted performance, improved training, and higher recovery rates in athletes. Add low-fat chocolate milk to your post-workout routine.
Go Buffs!
How long do we take between innings? How long's our break between innings? We're heading to the bottom of the first where the Buffs will send to the plate Eddie Savage as the designated hitter. Batting second will be the left fielder, Ryan Johnson. Batting third's the catcher, Kennedy Badgett. Cleanup is Adam Becker, the third baseman. Will Finning in right field will bat fifth. Eric Ortiz, the first baseman, is sixth. Mike Mineta at short bats seventh. Isaiah Madrid at second base will bat eighth, and Paul Whitman, the center fielder, will bat ninth. On the mound for the Aggies, Marcus Faria. He's 0-2 with a 6.97 ERA this year. Here's Eddie Savage leading off, batting .400 through the first 6 games of the season. The Buffs have not had any issues scoring runs thus far. They're averaging 13.6 runs a game. Second pitch inside evens out the count at 1-1. There's a strike call. There's a fly ball to center. That's going to send the center fielder back, and it's over his head. And a stand-up double to start it off for Eddie Savage. Well, he hit it straight at and over the head of Jordan Harrison. Harrison hustled back but couldn't get to it. And that lands Savage at second base. That'll bring up the left fielder, Ryan Johnson. Johnson hitting .476 with 10 hits and 21 at-bats. He's also got 1 home run to his credit thus far. Freya with the delivery, and it's a strike. Savage with the short lead off a second. Here's the delivery, and a grounder to second will get the runner over to third. Williams fires it over to Allen, and there's one away. Kennedy Badgett, the catcher, batting .526 on the year. 10 hits and 19 at-bats. driven in 7 runs, and he's got Savage over at third base right now. First pitch, fastball, fisted off. Strike one. One out here in the bottom of the first. Scoreless ball game, but the Buffs threatening with a runner on third base. Freya working out of the windup. There's a long fly down the left field line, but it's going to be foul. That makes the count no balls and 2 strikes. Badgett, the Buffaloes' leading hitter, as mentioned, 10 hits, 19 runs. He's also drawn 7 walks. And takes that one low and away. Makes the count 1 ball, 2 strikes. Freya rocks, and there's a tapper to third. Clem fields it, goes over to Allen at first to retire Becker. There's 2 down. And that'll bring up the right fielder, Will Finning. Finning batting .429 this year. Has 9 hits and 21 at-bats. 3 walks and 5 strikeouts. Faria looks to get out of this jam in the first inning. There's a grounder to second. Williams has it, goes to first. And the Buffs strand a runner at third base. No runs on 1 hit. There was 1 left. We'll go to the second. No score here from Wilder Park. You're watching Buffalo Baseball on the LSC Digital Network.
Please return all foul balls to one of the WT representatives. Zero National Bank proudly supports WT Athletics. A&B, we're here to stay. We would like to thank Midwest Compressor.
When you choose natural gas, chocolate chip cookies get a little tastier. Homes get a little cozier. Bank accounts tend to put on some weight. Towels get fluffier. Showers stay hotter for longer. And our blue planet gets a little greener. When it comes to choosing energy that's clean and efficient, nothing else could be more American. Atmos Energy, your natural gas company.
Here's Jordan Harrison leading off for the Aggies. Grounds it to Mineta at short. He fires to first, and it's a quick first pitch out for the Buffaloes. That'll bring up Nick Sanchez. He's the catcher, batting .182 this season. Here's Marshall. Has a very compact wind-up. First pitch is a called strike. Coming into this game, Marshall had pitched 10 innings with 13 strikeouts and just 2 walks allowed. Very efficient. Batters are hitting just 111 off of them. There's a high, hard one, swung on and missed for strike 2. Sanchez swings and hits a bouncer to short. Manetta over to Ortiz for the out. 2 down quickly, both on groundouts to short. That'll bring up Ryan Allen, the first baseman, batting .250. Allen has 5 hits and 20 at-bats. Struck out 12 times this year. Lefty. Looks out at Marshall. Fastball is going to be flied to deep center. Going back as Whitman looks up. And that one's gone. Ryan Allen sends one over the 405 mark in center field on the first pitch he saw. And gives the Aggies a 1-0 lead. And for Marshall, that is the first home run he has allowed this year. The Aggies on top here in the top of the second, 1-0 with 2 outs. That brings up Bo Driver, the left fielder. Well, Allen's dinger left no doubt. It was high and deep. Whitman gave chase in center, but when he got out to the warning track, all he could do was look up. Marshall's second pitch to Driver, a strike, evens the count at 1-1. Marshall's delivery outside. 2-1 our count. Driver batting just .067, 1 hit in 15 at-bats, 10 strikeouts. He has a pair of walks. Off-speed pitch. Catches the corner. Evens the count at 2-2. Buffs pinching Driver up the middle, and there's a strikeout, second of the game for Marshall, and that'll retire the side. But for the Aggies, 1 run on 1 hit, nobody left. We go to the bottom of the second. Cameron leads it 2-1. You're watching Buffalo basketball on the LSC Digital Network.
How do you make something that's already fresh even fresher? By adding fresh new things, like crisp pico de gallo for a little kick, and creamy cilantro lime sauce for that extra whoa. And pepper jack cheese because, of course, all on top of 2 fresh beef patties, or with chicken on a brioche bun. Whataburger's limited time pico de gallo burger and new pico de gallo chicken sandwiches. Good thing for fresh things. Good thing there's Whataburger.
Will Finning leads off the second inning for the Buffaloes. Finning batting .429. Swings and hits one sharply into the Buffs dugout. Second pitch swung on and missed. Strike two. Freya staked to a 1-0 lead here in the second. Works to the right fielder for the Buffaloes, who grounds one to second base. Scooped up by Williams. His throw to first catches Finning for the first out. That'll bring up first baseman Eric Ortiz. Ortiz batting .421 with 8 hits in 19 at-bats. 1 home run thus far. Bats from the left side. Faria looks in, and his delivery on the outside corner swung on and missed. Strike one. Second pitch high for a ball. Nice crowd here at Wilder Park this afternoon watching the opening game of this 4-game LSC homestand for West Texas. Freya's pitch catches the corner. Strike two. Ortiz has struck out just 2 times through 6 games this year. Count even at 2-2. As the flag falls limp on the pole out in left center field. Ortiz whiffs at a high hard one, and that'll be the second out of the inning. First strikeout of the game for Marcus Faria. That'll bring up the shortstop, Mike Mineta. The lefty's batting .417, 10 hits and 24 at-bats. And they'll be looking to get something going for the Buffs, who trail early 1-0 here in the bottom of the second. Mineta takes a fastball strike on the outside corner. And there's a bunt laid down in front of the plate. Harrison picks it up, fires down to Allen to retire the side. 3 up, 3 down for the Buffaloes in the second. We go to the third. Cameron leads at 1-0. You're watching Buff Baseball on the LSC Digital Network.
This is a walk-on athlete. They train longer, put their heart into the game. This is the passion we're built on. It's why we put our heart into creating game day with a taste of Louisiana. Walk-ons, we live for this.
We head to the top of the third with the Cameron Aggies holding a 1-0 lead, courtesy of a Ryan Allen home run to deep center field in the second. Nick Marshall returns to the mound for West Texas. And he will face the Aggies' designated hitter, Zach DeLong. DeLong batting .333 with 2 hits in 6 at-bats. Will face Marshall from the left side of the plate. First pitch is a breaking pitch on the outside corner for a called strike. In addition to his 2 hits, DeLong has 2 strikeouts and 1 walk, as well as 1 run scored. Takes a strike 2 as he falls behind in the count. No balls, 2 strikes. There's a liner to left. It's going to drop in for a base hit. DeLong fisted that one, but got it over the infield. And we'll go back to the top of the order, and Eric Oman, who struck out to open the game. Marshall's first pitch catches the corner for a called strike. Buffs and the Aggies will be back at it tomorrow. Doubleheader beginning at 1 p.m. as Oman sends it to left center field. Going back on it is Whitman, makes the catch. DeLong started to second, but when Whitman gathered in the ball, he retreated back to first. So there's 1 away. That'll bring up Tyler Coleman. Actually, we've got a change, and Holden Tate is up, batting .200. First pitch, a strike from Marshall. Tate has seen action in 4 games this season. It's 1 for 5. Struck out twice, walked twice, but has scored 3 runs. Second pitch, low and away for a ball, evens the count at 1-1. Third pitch, bounces in. Badgett keeps it in front of him as DeLong stays down at first base. Marshall out of the stretch. Breaking pitch just outside. 3-1 the count. One away here, top of the third. Aggies lead 1-0. Holden Tate the batter. And it's ball 4 outside. So Nick Marshall issues his first walk of the game. The Aggies have something going here in the third inning with runners on first and second and just 1 out. That'll bring up Ben Williams, who lined to center back in the first inning. Buffs are going to play Williams pretty much straight away as Marshall works out of the stretch. Swung on and missed for strike 1. Marshall takes the signal and looks in at Badgett. Line drive left field. That's going to fall in and go to the wall. Johnson retreats to get the ball. 1 run scores. Tate makes it to third, and in at second base standing up is Bo Williams with a double. As DeLong came around from second to score, and that puts the Aggies up 2-0. Williams sent that one down the left field line. It got in the corner, and Aggies had no problems plating a run off of that. Now runners at second and third, still 1 out. And that brings Jace Clem to the plate. Clem flied to right in the first inning, swings and misses on a low one for strike 1. And that run, actually these 2 runs scored by the Aggies, the first allowed by Marshall this year in 2 appearances. Marshall with a breaking pitch, check swing, but home plate umpire Michael Grisham says he went around, strike 2. Umpiring crew, Mike Grisham behind the plate, Kyle Glasscock on the right side, Brooks Barfield over at third. Here's Marshall's pitch, swung on and missed for a strikeout. That is the third of the game dealt by Marshall. And now there's 2 away. Bringing to the plate, Jordan Harrison, the center fielder. Harrison grounded into a short to first, out to lead off the second inning. He's the 6th batter sent to the plate here in the third inning by Cameron. Marshall, fastball on the corner, strike 1. Runners at second and third, with Tate down at third, Williams at second. Both taking short leads as Marshall looks in. There's a grounder to second. Madrid scoops it up, goes to first to retire the side, and the Buffs get out of a jam, allowing just 1 run. For the Aggies, 1 run on 2 hits. There was 2 left on base. We go to the bottom of the third. Cameron leads it 2-0. You're watching Buffalo Baseball on the LSC Digital Network.
The best tailgates start with the best beef, and the best beef starts with Market Street. Market Street, where we do beef the best.
Welcome to Shimon Dental Group, where every day we're excited to see our patients and treat them like family. We are dedicated to providing you with the highest quality care in a friendly and comfortable environment. Shimon Dental Group's patient-focused philosophy puts your needs front and center.
We are constantly investing in leading-edge technology. Innovations that speed the treatment process and improve aesthetics. We're expanding the breadth of our cosmetic and restorative services through training to provide the best possible outcomes.
Just with the level of commitment that they show to taking care of my family and I, it's absolutely unmatched in this town, so I've been very happy with them.
Brightening smiles for more than 3 decades.
Contact Shimon Dental Group for your appointment today.
Welcome back to Wilder Park. Kent Johnson calling the action as the Buffs head to the bottom of the third, trailing 2-0. A home run by the Aggies' Ryan Allen, and a double by Bo Williams. Takes Cameron out to a 2-0 lead as second baseman Isaiah Madrid steps in to face Marcus Faria, swings and hits the first pitch he faces out to left field, where Driver comes in and makes the catch for the first out. That'll bring up center fielder Paul Whitman. Whitman batting .474, 9 hits and 19 at-bats. He's also drawn 5 walks. He'll hit from the left side. Freya's first pitch, a little bit inside, ball 1. Freya with 1 strikeout thus far, has not walked a batter. Second pitch low and inside. As Whitman goes up 2-0 on the count, now make it 3-0. The third pitch from Freya is up and away. There's a strike down the pike. Makes the count 3 balls and 1 strike to the Buff center fielder Paul Whitman. And that pitch is outside for ball 4. First walk of the game issued by Freya. And we go back to the top of the order, Eddie Savoy takes a called strike. Buffs with a runner on first, their first base runner of the game. There's a line drive to center field. It's going to drop in for a base hit. Whitman advances down to second, puts on the brakes, and the Buffs have something going with 2 on and 1 out here in the bottom of the third inning. That'll bring up Ryan Johnson, the left fielder. Johnson grounded to second his first time up. Johnson swings at the first pitch and fouls it back. Strike 1. Cameron with 2 runs on 3 hits. They've also left 3 runners on base. The Buffs with 2 hits. They currently have 2 runners on base. Freya with the delivery, fouled off right field line. And Savoy finds himself down on the count, no balls, 2 strikes. Freya rocks, fastball up and away. Makes the count 1 ball, 2 strikes. Johnson fouls one straight back. Hangs tough. Johnson with 12 ribbies this season in 21 at-bats. He's also accounted for 10 runs himself. has two runners on right now as he faces a 1-2 offering. Breaking pitch, high, ball 2, evens the count, 2-2. Short lead off second by Whitman. There's a line drive left field, drops in. Whitman's going to round third, and he's going to come in and score. Savoy goes down to second base as Ryan Johnson gets the Buffs on the board with an RBI single to left. Cuts the Buffs deficit to 2-1. That'll bring up the catcher, Kennedy Badgett. Badgett grounded out to third in the first inning. And he'll step to the plate with runners on first and second, courtesy of the Ryan Johnson liner to left. And Badgett swings at the first one and pops it to second. Right there for the catch is Williams. That'll be out number 2. No chance for the runners to advance. So runners remain at first and second base as Adam Becker steps to plate. The third baseman was retired in the first inning on a grounder to second. Buffs trailing here 2-1 in the bottom of the third. Breaking pitch is over for a strike. Freya out of the stretch. Looking in, Becker waits, lines one over the second baseman's head. That one's going to get in the gap and go to the wall. 1 run scores. Here comes Johnson. He's going to score, and Becker trots into second base with a 2 RBI double, and the Buffaloes take a 3-2 lead. That'll bring up Will Finning, the right fielder. Finning grounded out to second to lead off the second inning, as the Buffaloes have sent 6 batters to the plate here in the third inning. Freya from the stretch. High leg kick. Finning swings and sends one to center. Sends Harrison back to the warning track, but he makes the catch. So for the Buffaloes, 3 runs on 3 hits. There was runner left on base. We head to the 4th. Buffs lead it 3-2. You're watching Buffalo Baseball on the LSC Digital Network.
Joints begin to fail. It's more than an inconvenience. The relentless grinding pain slows you down and can even stop you from doing the things you enjoy in life. At Physicians Surgical Hospitals, our skilled orthopedic experts are using advanced robotic surgeries to get you back to being you sooner with a less painful recovery. We're doing more than restoring joints. We're restoring lives.
Smile is understood in any language. It represents joy, love, and shows you care. At Full Smile Dental, our mission is to build lifelong relationships one smile at a time by providing accessible, compassionate, quality care with the personal touch of friendship. Come see us at Full Smile Dental, located in Canyon, Amarillo, Dumas, and Dalhart, and ask us about our free Whitening for Life program.
Nick Sanchez will lead off the top of the fourth for the Cameron Aggies. First time up, Sanchez grounded out to short. Takes the first pitch for a ball. Second pitch, flied to right. Hustling after it. First baseman Ortiz can't quite catch up to it. Foul ball, just a long strike. Nick Marshall on for his fourth inning of work. Has allowed 2 earned runs on 3 hits. Has 1 walk and 3 strikeouts through 3 innings. It's a fastball swung on and missed. Two balls, 1 strike. To Nick Sanchez. Strikeout swinging. It's going to be strikeout number 4 for Nick Marshall, as he blew that one by Sanchez. That'll bring up Ryan Allen, the first baseman. Allen homered the deep center, giving Cameron their first run back in the second inning. Takes the first pitch low for ball 1. For Allen, that was his first home run of the season. The Aggies' 4th of the year, as Jordan Harrison has 3 home runs thus far for the Aggies this season. Second pitch outside, ball 2. Two-0 the count, 1 out in the 4th. Buffalo's leading 3-2. Marshall rocks and fires, pitches away. 3-0. Infield playing Allen deep as he takes a 4-pitch walk. That's the second walk of the game for Nick Marshall. Brings up left fielder Bo Driver. Driver struck out swinging to end the second inning. Allen with a short lead off first. As Marshall rocks and fires. Swung on and missed. Strike 1. Allen with 3 doubles this season. Takes a breaking pitch, strike 2. No balls, 2 strikes the count on Bo Driver. As he looks out at Marshall. Marshall rocks, pitches high, ball 1. Allen down at first, courtesy of a 1-out walk. After Sanchez opened the inning with a strikeout. There's a breaking pitch called strike 3. Marshall's 5th strikeout of the game. That'll bring up Zach DeLong, the designated hitter. DeLong singled back in the 3rd. As the lefty steps in against Nick Marshall. First pitch swung on at a pitch low and away. Marshall looks over at first. Stretches, now he throws over to first, diving back in. Allen. Allen takes a lead. Marshall rocks and fires, swung on, fouled off. As DeLong falls down in the count, no balls and 2 strikes. Marshall looking to get out of the inning. Wind up and delivery. Pitch bounces in. Badgett blocks it. Ball 1. DeLong digs in. Awaits the pitch from Marshall. From the stretch. Low and away. Evens the count 2-2. As Marshall awaits the signal from Badgett. Buffs playing DeLong straight away. And at medium depth. Here's the delivery. High chopper to first, going to go foul. So we'll reset and try it again with the 2-2 count. 2 outs here in the 4th inning. Allen down at first base. DeLong at the bat. The Buffs' Nick Marshall looking to get out of the inning without any damage. Fires, and there's another one fisted off foul. Marshall with the stretch. The kick and the delivery. Curveball up and away. Full count. DeLong has walked once previously this season. Has played in 3 of the Aggies' 8 contests thus far. Marshall with the kick. Fastball swung on and missed. Strike 3 and strikeout number 6 for Nick Marshall. No runs, no hits. One left for the Aggies in the top of the 4th. Buffs lead it 3-2. You're watching WT Baseball on the LSC Digital Network.
Choosing the right countertops for your kitchen can be tricky. Nowadays, there are hundreds of colors, patterns, and textures and materials that range from natural to engineered stone. Marble Depot is here for you throughout every step of the process. And yes, we do have a lot of options that might make that decision a little harder, but we're also going to ask the right questions so that you get the most out of your investment. So come by our showroom and let us help create what you've been dreaming of.
Welcome back to Wilder Park. As we go to the bottom of the 4th, Buffs lead it 3-2, and Eric Ortiz, the Buffs first baseman, leads off the inning. Facing Marcus Ferreira. First pitch strike to Ortiz. Second pitch swung on and missed. Strike 2 through 3 innings for Rhea. It's allowed 4 hits, 3 earned runs, 1 walk, and 1 strikeout. He's thrown 40 pitches to this point. There's one high and away for a ball. Faria deals, and Ortiz sends one between first and second out to right field for a base hit. That's the Buffs' 5th hit of the game. That'll bring up Mike Mineta, the shortstop. He was thrown out catcher to first, trying to bunt to end the second inning. Ortiz draws a throw over to first, but he dives back in on time. Frio with the stretch. There's a tapper foul down the first base line. Madrid falls behind in the count. 1 strike. Here's a throw to first, as Ortiz dives back in safely. No outs here in the bottom of the 4th. Buffs with a runner on first. As Madrid takes one low and away. Evens the count. 1-1. Another throw over to first. And again, Ortiz dives back in. Faria from the stretch. Short leg kick, fires away. Foul tip, strike 2. Ortiz has been successful stealing base once this year out of 1 attempt. And the Aggies paying a lot of attention to his action over at first. There's a swing. Sharp grounder to second. They get the runner. Ortiz, but the relay to first not in time. So with 1 out, runner on first, Isaiah Madrid comes up. He flew out to left field back in the 3rd inning. Buffs leading 3-2 here in the bottom of the 4th. From Wilder Park on a beautiful Friday afternoon, series opener between the Buffaloes and the Aggies. Madrid skies one high to left field, but Driver walks over, shields his eyes from the sun, and makes the catch. 2 down, that'll bring up the center fielder, Paul Whitman. He walked and scored back in the 3rd inning. Scored on the double by Ryan Johnson. Looks in from the left side, and again, Faria goes over to first. Manetta dives back in. Faria's delivery outside, ball 1. Manetta walks off of first base, about even with the cut in the turf, as Faria hits the corner for a called strike. One count. Faria from the stretch. Rocks and fires. There goes the runner. The throw down to second. Got him. Manetta got a good jump. Looked like he may have beat the throw. But Brooks Barfield rang him up as he goes sliding into second. Matt Vanderberg wants to know how he was out. Out there discussing with Barfield. And that'll end the inning. No runs, no hits. Nobody left. We go to the 5th. Buffs lead at 3-2. You're watching Buffalo Baseball on the LSC Digital Network.
Welcome to MetaDrive Pharmacy, Canyon's hometown pharmacy for over 32 years. We greet you by name, and our pharmacists take the time to counsel you and answer all your questions. Our Health Mart Pharmacy specializes in serving our community with fast, friendly, professional service and the highest quality medicines and health products. We accept most insurance plans, including Medicaid and Medicare, and we offer free in-town delivery to your home or business. Come visit us for all your healthcare needs.
This is what a new heart valve looks like. This is what a bypassed artery looks like. And this is what a repaired aortic aneurysm looks like. The BSA Heart and Vascular Team is here to help you live life to the fullest. From our state-of-the-art cardiac technologies to our dedicated heart specialists, our goal is to help you take the very best care of your heart so you can enjoy everything else that matters to you. BSA for life.
Nick Marshall takes the mound for his 5th inning of work as he faces the top of the order for the Aggies, Eric Oman, here to lead off the 5th inning. Oman skies one to short left field, coming on and making the catch for the Buffs is Ryan Johnson, and one quick out to start the 5th. That'll bring up Holden Tate, who reached base back in the 3rd inning, then was stranded at 3rd. First pitch, he flies it to center. Whitman moves over into right center, shields his eyes, and makes the catch for the 2nd out. 2 pitches, 2 quick outs for Marshall. That'll bring up Bo Williams, second baseman. Williams doubled in the 3rd inning, lined out to center in the 1st. Marshall from the windup. Fastball outside, ball 1. Second pitch from Marshall. Breaking pitch, low and away, ball 2. Aggies jumped out to a 1-0 lead in the 2nd, bumped it to 2-0 in the 3rd. The Buffs came back with 3 runs of their own in the bottom of the 3rd and currently lead 3-2 as we are in the top of the 5th here at Wilder Park. Here's Marshall's delivery, swung on, fouled down the left field line. That one's going to go out of play. That'll even the count at 2 balls, 2 strikes. Buffs and the Aggies will be back at it tomorrow. Doubleheader with first game set to start at 1 p.m. Weather's supposed to be even nicer tomorrow with temperatures in the 60s as Williams lines one past shortstop into center field. His 2nd hit of the ball game. That'll bring up the 3rd baseman, Jace Clem. That was the 4th hit of the game for the Aggies. Clem comes to the plate, having flied to right in the 1st, struck out in the 3rd. Marshall looks in, gets the signal from the stretch. Ball bounces in, ball 1. Buffs playing Clem deep to the right side as the pitch is low and away for ball 2. Two 2-0 the count. 2 outs here. Top of the 5th inning. Buffs leading 3-2. Buffs 6-0 on the season. The Aggies 4-4. Here's Marshall from the stretch. The kick and the delivery bounces in. Badgett corrals the ball. And it's a 3-0 count against the Aggies' 3rd baseman. Here's the pitch. Low and away, ball 4. That's the second walk of the ball game issued by Nick Marshall. That'll bring up Jordan Harrison, the Aggies center fielder. Grounded to short in the first, second in the third. And he comes up now with runners on first and second, 2 outs in the top of the 5th. For Jace Clem, that was his team-leading 8th base on balls. There's a swing and a miss by Harrison. Strike 1. Marshall trying to protect the lead as the Aggies have runner in scoring position and 2 on here with 2 out in the 5th inning. Wind up and the delivery, low and away, ball 1. Evens the count at 1 apiece. Marshall from the stretch. The pitch, strike 2, swinging. Harrison thought that one looked fat. The ball was on the outside corner. Marshall blew it by him. One-two delivery. On the corner but low, evens us up at 2-2. Harrison came in today batting .323 through 8 games. Marshall's pitch, Harrison turns on it and sends that off the expressway. Over the right field fence, a 3-run home run for the Aggies' Jordan Harrison. The Buffs' right fielder Will Finning just turned and made no effort to chase after that one, as that one got in the fast lane and took off. A 3-run home run. And that brings up Nick Sanchez, with the Aggies regaining the lead 5-3. Well, Nick Marshall came into this game having not allowed a run through his first 2 appearances, but he's been nicked for 5 through the first 4 2/3 today. Breaking pitch, up and in, evens the count at 1-1 to Sanchez. From the windup, here's the delivery. Sharp grounder to short. Mineta scoops it up, goes to first, and that retires the side. But the Aggies come up with 3 runs on 2 hits. There were no runners left. After 4.5, the Aggies lead at 5-3. You're watching Buffalo Baseball on the LSC Digital Network.
90 years, the Lone Star Conference has been committed to excellence. What began in 1831 as a 5-team conference has grown to 18 institutions spanning 4 states. And while membership has changed, the pursuit of athletic success and academic excellence has never wavered. 119 national championships, over 2,000 All-Americans, and nearly 300 academic All-Americans. Celebrating 90 years of success, this is the Lone Star Conference.
WT student athletes drink low-fat chocolate milk post-workout because it helps replenish and restore muscles quickly to their peak potential. Scientific studies suggest that the immediate benefits of low-fat chocolate milk include boosted performance, improved training, and higher recovery rates in athletes. Add low-fat chocolate milk to your post-workout routine.
Go Bucks!
Back for the bottom of the fifth, with the Buff center fielder Paul Whitman leading off. First pitch is a strike, as Marcus Faria is on for his fifth inning as work. Whitman swings and nudges that one off foul. Strike two. Buffs on the short end of a 5-3 score. Swung on and missed. Strikeout number 2 for Marcus Faria. And there's one away as we go back to the top of the order. As Eddie Savoy, the Buffs DH, steps in from the right side. Faria's first pitch. Outside and gets away to the backstop for ball one. Faria's offering inside ball two. Third pitch, low and away. And Savoy goes up 3-0 in the count. The Aggies with 3 runs in the top of the fifth. And there's a 4-pitch walk to Savoy. For Faria, that's his second walk of the game. That'll bring up Ryan Johnson, the Buffs left fielder. Johnson grounded to second in the first, doubled and scored in the third. As Faria rocks and fires, strike one taken by Johnson. Faria's offering bounces away from the catcher. Heading down to second, it's Eddie Savoy, and he's in standing up. That'll be scored a wild pitch as the Buffs get a runner down to second. That ball Bounced away from Nick Sanchez. He tracked it down, but his throw down to second was late. One count to Johnson. As Faria delivers, ball goes through the legs of Sanchez. And that's going to send Savoy to third base. We'll see if that's a... They're going to call that a wild pitch as that bounced. So 2 consecutive wild pitches. Gives the Buffs a runner at third, and there's a hit by pitch as a fastball nicks Johnson on the shoulder. And he'll go to first base. That'll bring up the catcher, Kennedy Badgett. Badgett grounded to third in the first inning and popped to second for the second out in the third inning. And he comes up to bat here in the fifth with runners on the corners. 1 out as the Buffs trail 5-3. There's a pitch fouled off behind home plate for strike one. You know, you sit here in the grandstands in the press box at Wilder Park and you can look out past the outfield fence. The traffic on I-27 about 1.5 miles away, serenely heading north to Amarillo or south to Lubbock. Meanwhile, a ball game takes place right in front of you as a pitch inside, ball one. The West Texas A&M Presidential House sits right behind the center field fence as there's a shot to left field, going to bounce off the wall. Driver collects it, throws into second, and sliding into second with a double is Kennedy Badgett. Johnson advances to third, and Savoy comes around to score. The Buffs have cut the Aggies' lead to 5-4. As Badgett nailed one off the Lions Realty sign on the left field fence. Drives a run home, and the Buffs are in business with runners on second and third. 1 out here in the bottom of the fifth. And the third baseman, Adam Becker, coming to the plate. Becker grounded to second in the first. He doubled in the third. Off-speed pitch hangs high for ball one. Well, Whitman opened the inning with a strikeout, but then Savoy walked. Johnson was hit by a pitch, and Badgett plated Savoy with a double off the left field fence, and that's where we are right now. Here's a breaking pitch, hits the corner for strike one. Faria from the stretch. Swung on, fisted off the right side, foul ball. Becker falls behind in the count. 1 ball and 2 strikes with 1 out here. The bottom of the fifth, the Buffs have 1 run across and currently have runners on second and third with just 1 out. Marcus Faria is offering. Low and away, evens the count, 2-2. Faria steps off the mound, wanders around behind, now gets up and toes the rubber and looks in for the count. Works from the stretch, the runners lead off from base. Faria's pitch, line to right field, that's going to drop and get to the wall. Becker rounds first. As Johnson scores, Badgett scores, and Adam Becker strolls into second base with a 2-run double, and the Buffs are back on top. That'll bring up Will Fenning, who is 0 for 2 today, having grounded out in the second, flied to center in the third, and he comes up now with Adam Becker down at second base, and the Buffs on top, 6-5. There's a line shot down the third base line, just a bit foul. Buffs with 3 runs in the bottom of the 5th take a 6-5 lead over the Aggies. Buffs with 6 runs on 7 hits. The Aggies with 5 runs on 5 hits. Faria rocks and delivers, hits the corner for a strike. And Fenning falls behind in the count. No balls, 2 strikes, with 1 out. Faria from the stretch. That ball gets away from the catcher as Becker strolls over to third. That pitch was wide of the plate. Harrison reached for it, but couldn't come up with it. Actually, that's Sanchez behind the plate. 2-2 our count, 1 out. Bottom of the 5th. Will Fenning. As there's another wild pitch. Coming in to score is Adam Becker. And suddenly, Marcus Faria is having trouble with his command. He's dealt 3 wild pitches here in the bottom of the 5th. And after falling behind in the count 0-2, Fenning is now up 3-2 as he grounds one to short. Oman comes up with it. His throw to first is late. That'll be an infield single for Will Fenning. That'll bring up the first baseman for the Buffs, Eric Ortiz. Ortiz struck out in the second, singled in the third, and then was erased on a fielder's choice, second to short. Here's the stretch. Liner to left, right at Driver for the second out. That'll bring up the Buff shortstop, Mike Mineta. Mineta grounded out actually was out catcher to first in the second, then reached base on a fielder's choice back in the fourth inning. And he comes to bat with a runner on first. 2 down here in the fifth. First pitch swinging. He flies it to center. Harrison shields his eyes from the sun and makes the catch. So for the Buffs, 4 runs on 3 hits. We're through 5. Buffs lead it 7-5. You're watching West Texas Baseball on the LSC Digital Network.
Joints begin to fail. It's more than an inconvenience. The relentless grinding pain slows you down and can even stop you from doing the things you enjoy in life. At Physicians Surgical Hospitals, our skilled orthopedic experts are using advanced robotic surgeries to get you back to being you sooner with a less painful recovery. We're doing more than restoring joints. We're restoring lives.
Welcome back to Wilder Park, where the Buffaloes head to the top of the 6th, leading 7-5. Nick Marshall returns to the mound as Ryan Allen, the Aggies' first baseman, leads off the 6th inning. Aggies scored 3 runs in the 5th inning to take a lead, but the Buffs came right back with 4 to take a 7-5 lead, and that's where we are as Marshall's first pitch is a strike. Allen homered in the second, and then walked in the 4th. One count to the big first baseman. Swung on and missed, strike 2. Thus far through 5 innings, Marshall's allowed 5 runs on 5 hits. He's walked 3 and struck out 6. There's a grounder to second. Madrid with the scoop and the throw to first to retire Allen in the first out. That'll bring up the left fielder, Bo Driver. Driver's 0 for 2 with strikeout swinging in the second and a called strikeout in the 4th. Takes first pitch high for ball 1. Pinching driver up the middle with Madrid and Mineta playing just out on the grass or the outfield turf up the middle. Left and right field pinching him towards center. As Marshall's second pitch is a ball. And driver goes up 2-0 on the count. There's a swing and a tapper foul. 1-2's our count with 1 out. Here in the top of the 6th at Wilder Park, West Texas A&M holding a 7-5 lead over Cameron. In the opening game of a 4-game Lone Star Conference series this week between the Buffaloes and the Aggies. Here's a breaking pitch, catches the outside corner, evens the count at 2-2. Marshall with 6 strikeouts thus far. His driver fouls this one off the right side. Count remains at 2-2 on a beautiful sunny day here in Canyon, Texas at West Texas A&M's Wilder Park baseball field. Marshall out of the windup, swung on and missed. And that is Nick Marshall's 7th strikeout of the game. 2nd out of the inning. That'll bring up Zach DeLong, the designated hitter. DeLong singled in the 3rd, struck out swinging in the 4th. And he'll face Marshall from the left side. Marshall from the windup, hits the outside corner for called strike. Here's a fly ball foul down the left field line. Lands just behind the Buffaloes bullpen. And DeLong quickly falls behind in the count. 0-2. One, 2 our count, 2 outs. Top of the 6th inning. Marshall's delivery outside. Deucers are wild. 2 balls, 2 counts. 2 outs to Zach DeLong. Here's a grounder up the middle. Madrid to his right. Catches it. His throw to first bounces, but scooped nicely by Ortiz to retire the side. 3 up, 3 down for the Aggies. We go to the bottom of the 6th. Buffaloes lead it 7-5. You're watching West Texas A&M baseball on the LSC Digital Network.
It's got the looks, the style, the performance. Your new car is everything you always dreamed of, and now it's here. First Financial Bank was happy to help put you behind the wheel with a new car loan at a competitive rate and fast, friendly, local approval. It's service that just comes naturally to us, much like a love of tradition comes naturally to you. First Financial Bank, you first. Member FDIC.
Jenkins Doors and Windows began serving the Texas Panhandle in 1927, and we take pride in being a part of your neighborhood. We don't use false promises or gimmicks. We simply offer quality doors and windows at a fair price, and we stand behind every sale. Jenkins is family owned and operated, and proudly continues the traditions of quality and excellence that started over 80 years ago. Call us at 372-4336 or stop by our showroom at 820 West 6th and let our knowledgeable staff help you pick out the perfect doors and windows for your home.
Marcus Ferreira heads to the mound for his 6th inning of work with the Buffaloes leading 7-5. West Texas with 7 runs on 8 hits, 3 runners left on base. The Aggies 5 runs on 5 hits. They've stranded 4 runners through the first 5.5. Second baseman Isaiah Madrid leads off the bottom of the 6th for WT. Madrid is flied to left in the 3rd, flied to left in the 4th. As the first pitch is low and away for ball 1. Madrid with an open stance. Watches the second pitch bounce away for ball 2. Open stance and fairly spread. As he steps in to face Ferreira, the third offering is high for ball 3. Madrid came in today batting .211, has 5 walks as he takes that one right down the pike for a strike. And that pitch is way outside for ball 4. So Madrid draws his 6th walk of the season. And he opens the bottom of the 6th. And that's going to be Freya's 3rd walk of the game. That brings up center fielder Paul Whitman, who steps in with a runner on first. And we're going to have a break in the action as we have a visit to the mound and a pitching change coming up for the Aggies. So with that, we'll take a break. We'll be back after this. Buffaloes lead it 7-5. You're watching WT Baseball on the LSC Digital Network.
Deep in the heart of Texas, the prairie
Bud Light, proudly brewed
in the heart of Texas.
When you choose natural gas, chocolate chip cookies get a little tastier. Homes get a little cozier. Bank accounts tend to put on some weight. Towels get fluffier. Showers stay hotter for longer. And our blue planet gets a little greener. When it comes to choosing energy that's clean and efficient, nothing else could be more American. Atmos Energy, your natural gas company.
Carter Borg.
How do you make something that's already fresh even fresher? By adding fresh new things, like crisp pico de gallo for a little kick, and creamy cilantro lime sauce for that extra whoa. And pepper jack cheese because, of course, all on top of 2 fresh beef patties, or with chicken on a brioche bun. Whataburger's limited time pico de gallo burger and new pico de gallo chicken sandwiches. Good thing for fresh things. Good thing there's Whataburger.
Pitch is Carter Borg. This will be his 3rd appearance. He has 2 innings, allowed 3 hits, 1 strikeout. Opponents are batting .300 off of him. He has not allowed any runs, so he's trying to put out the fire here as the Buffs got a leadoff walk to open their half of the 6th. First pitch from Borg was a strike to Whitman, the Buffs center fielder. Working out of the stretch, now turns and fires over to first. Diving back in safely was Madrid. Borg from the stretch. Holds the ball up at chest level. Fires one high and inside for ball one. 1 ball, 1 strike to the Buffs center fielder, Paul Whitman. Whitman walked in the third, struck out swinging in the fifth. There's another toss over to first as Madrid dives back in. Kyle Glasscock with the safe call at first base. 1-1 count, no outs here for the Buffaloes. In the bottom of the sixth, Borg stretches, throws it in off the hands, and Whitman swings at it. Almost looked like a defensive swing, like he was expecting a run and hit call there. 1 ball, 2 strikes the count on Whitman. As Borg out of the stretch. Kicks and fires. There's a ground ball to second. Williams scoops it up, goes to first, as Madrid advances to second on the force out. 1 away, bottom of the sixth for the Buffs. We go back to the top of the order. Designated hitter Eddie Savoy steps up. Thus far today, Savoy 2 for 2 with a walk. Reached base all 3 times up. Led off the game with a double. Singled and scored in the third. Walked and eventually scored in the fifth. One out. There's a deep drive left center. The Aggies can only watch that one go. That one didn't look like it was popped quite that hard, but it just kept going over the left center field fence. And for Eddie Savoy, it's home run number 1 on the season. And that'll be a 2-run shot for the Buffs designated hitter as they take a 9-5 lead here in the bottom of the sixth. So left fielder Ryan Johnson steps in for WT. His first pitch is a ball. Buffs, through their first 6 games, had scored 82 runs, an average of 13.6. As Johnson skies one to center field, Harrison plants under it and makes the catch. 2 down here in the 6th inning. Buffs with 9 runs today. As Kennedy Badgett, the catcher, steps in. Badgett grounded to third in the first, popped to second in the third, and then doubled and scored in the fifth. The first pitch is a strike. Borg from the windup, outside ball. Third offering to Badgett's in tight. 2 balls, 1 strike. Badgett swings. Grounds one sharply to third, scooped by Clem. His throw is low to first, but Allen scoops it out to retire the side. For the Buffs, 2 runs on 1 hit. There was no runners left on base. We're through 6. Buffs lead at 9-5. You're watching Buffalo Baseball on the LSC Digital Network.
How do you make something that's already fresh even fresher? By adding fresh new things, like crisp pico de gallo for a little kick, and creamy cilantro lime sauce for that extra whoa. And pepper jack cheese because, of course, all on top of 2 fresh beef patties, or with chicken on a brioche bun. Whataburger's limited time pico de gallo burger and new pico de gallo chicken sandwiches. Good thing for fresh things. Good thing there's Whataburger.
Nick Marshall on for his 7th inning of work here for the Buffaloes. Takes a 9-5 lead to the mound. For Marshall, through 6th inning, he's allowed 5 runs on 5 hits, struck out 7, and walked 3. Leading off for the Aggies here in the 7th. Is the top of the order, shortstop Eric Oman. Oman struck out in the 1st, flied out to center in the 3rd, flied to left in the 5th, so he's 0 for 3. Fouls off the first pitch for strike 1. Marshall's delivery. Oman swings, lifts it to center. It's fairly shallow. Whitman under it and makes the catch. 1 away. That'll bring up Holden Tate. Tate's 0 for 1 with a walk. That coming back in the 3rd inning. He then flied to center in the 5th. Marshall's wind up. Tate swings, sends it to right field. Sends Fenning back on the warning track, reaches up and makes the catch. So a quick 2 outs for Marshall. That'll bring up the second baseman, Bo Williams. Williams is 2 for 3. Lined out to center in the 1st, doubled in the 3rd, and then singled to left in the 5th. So the lefty digs in against Marshall. The windup and the delivery. A little low for ball 1. Second delivery, a strike call. Evens the count at 1-1. Marshall rocks and fires. A little bit outside. 2 balls, 1 strike. Swung on and tapped, foul. Evens the count at 2-2. Williams doubled on a 2-strike pitch in the 3rd, and then his single in the 5th came off a 2-2 count. And that's where we stand right now with 2 outs, top of the 7th. Swung on and missed. Strikeout number 8. For Nick Marshall. And that retires the side. No runs, no hits, no errors. No runs left on base for the Aggies. We go to the bottom of the 7th. Buffaloes lead it 9-5.
This is a walk-on athlete. They train longer, put their heart into the game. This is the passion we're built on. It's why we put our heart into creating game day with a taste of Louisiana. Walk-ons, we live for this.
Heading to the bottom of the 7th, Carter Borg returns to the mound for the Aggies as he came on in the 6th inning. And he's going to face Buff's third baseman Adam Becker. Becker, 2 for 3 thus far, grounded second in the first, then doubled in the third and had a 2-run double in the 5th. And he leads off. Oh, hits a deep foul ball. Looked like it might have cleared. It did clear the fence, but it's called foul. It was a close one. He gave that one a shot. But it was just to the left of the foul pole. So we'll chalk it up as a long strike. Borg's wind up. Delivery bounces in. Ball 1. Becker swings, drills one to left field. Fair ball, bounces off the wall, gets away from driver and bounces towards center. Becker into second. He turns on the Jets and heads for third and slides in safely with a triple. Becker lined one to left field. The wall really angles away from the foul pole. And when the ball hit the wall, it bounced up and over the head of the left fielder driver. Bounced back towards center fielder. Becker hustling down to second base, saw the ball bouncing around out on the warning track, turned on the Jets, made it to third with a leadoff triple. That'll bring up the right fielder, Will Finning. Finning takes first pitch. High. Thus far, Finning is 1 for 3. Grounded to second in the second, flied to center in the third, and singled to short on an infield single back in the 5th. Borg from the stretch now with the runner on third. Breaking ball inside. It's ball 3. 3-0 our count. Borg's offering strike 1. Buffs leading at 9-5 here in the bottom of the 7th. Carter Borg. Delivery. Hits Will Finning in the hip. And Finning will trot down to first base. And the Buffs with runners on the corners. Nobody out. As first baseman Eric Ortiz steps up to bat. Ortiz 1 for 3, struck out in the second, singled to right in the fourth, and lined to left back in the fifth inning. Borg from the stretch. Runners lead off from first and third. Long look in. The delivery bounces in. The catcher Sanchez blocks it. Prevents the runner from advancing on first. One 0 the count. Borg's second delivery, also a ball. No outs here in the bottom of the seventh. The Buffs with runners on the corners. 2-0 count. Derek Ortiz, and we've got a mound visit. Buffs and the Aggies back at it tomorrow in a doubleheader. First game set for 1 p.m. Expected pitchers for the first game will be Maddox Hoagland for the Buffaloes and Kellen Hayes for the Aggies. Hayes 2-0 with a 1.64 ERA. Hoagland's 1-0 with a 5.19. Got action down in the Aggies bullpen. So it looks like Tyler Gregg warming up as Carter Borg remains in the game for the Aggies, tosses it over to first. Finning back in. No outs, Buffs with runners in the corners, and a 9-5 lead here in the bottom of the seventh. Borg from the stretch. Off-speed pitch, swung on and missed. 2-1 the count to the Buffs' first baseman. Borg from the stretch. Little high. 3 balls, 1 strike. Is Borg one pitch away from potentially loading the bases. Ortiz digs in. Here's the pitch. Ball 4, and the Buffs have loaded him. For Borg, that's his first base on ball allowed today. It's also his first walk on the season. As Mike Mineta steps in, the Buffs shortstop. 0 for 3 today. Out catcher to first in the second. Reached on a fielder's choice in the fourth. Flied to center in the fifth. And he's up now with the bases loaded, and he rips one in the gap between right and center field. Harrison over to get it on the bounce, but it's going to be an RBI single for Mike Mineta. As Becker comes home to score the 10th run for the Buffaloes. That'll bring up the second baseman, Isaiah Madrid, and we're going to have a pitching change for the Aggies. Buffs lead it 10-5. We'll be back after this. You're watching Buffalo Baseball on the LSC Digital Network.
The best tailgates start with the best beef, and the best beef starts with Market Street. Market Street, where we do beef the best.
Welcome to Shimon Dental Group, where every day we're excited to see our patients and treat them like family. We are dedicated to providing you with the highest quality care in a friendly and comfortable environment. Shim & Dillon Group's patient-focused philosophy puts your needs front and center.
We are constantly investing in leading-edge technology, innovations that speed the treatment process and improve aesthetics. We're expanding the breadth of our cosmetic and restorative services through training to provide the best possible outcomes.
Just with the level of commitment that they show to taking care of my family and I, it's absolutely unmatched in this town, so I've been very happy with them.
Brightening smiles for more than 3 decades.
Contact Shim & Dillon Group for your appointment today.
Well, Matthew Scott is on for the Aggies. The right-hander has had one previous appearance this year, 2/3 of an inning, allowed 2 hits, but no runs, has not walked a batter. And he's going to come on with plenty of hot water as the Buffs have the bases loaded here in the bottom of the 7th in a 10-5 lead. The Aggies led 5-3 heading into the bottom of the 5th, but the Buffaloes scored 4 in the 5th, 2 in the 6th. They've plated 1 run here in the 7th. There's a shot to third base, scooped up by Clem. The throw to the plate completes the double play. Heads up play by Aggie third baseman Jace Clem as he scooped the grounder, stepped on the bag, then threw to Sanchez at the plate, who tagged out Fenning trying to score. So Ortiz is retired at third unassisted. Then Fenning is out at the plate from third to catcher as Isaiah Madrid gets to first on the fielder's choice, and that brings up the center fielder, Paul Whitman. First pitch is a ball. And the score remains 10-5 WT. Buffs had the bases loaded. Now with 2 outs, they've got runners on first and second. Here's the delivery, taken for a strike. Whitman walked in the 3rd, struck out swinging in the 5th, and grounded to second back in the 6th. Scott from the stretch, way inside. Whitman backs out, avoided being hit, but the ball goes to the backstop, and that allows the runners, Ortiz and Mineta, to advance. Buffs have 1 run across already in the 7th. Have runners on second and third now with 2 outs and a 2-1 count on center fielder Paul Whitman. Here's Scott from the stretch. Swung on, fisted, down the line, base hit. Whitman's going to round first, head into second, standing up as 2 runs score. And it's a 2 RBI double for Paul Whitman.
After that 2 RBI double, that brings up number 8, Eddie Savoy.
So we go back to the top of the order. Eddie Savoy, the Buffs DH, stands in against Matthew Scott. Takes the first pitch low. Buffs leading 12-5. 12 runs on 12 hits. The Aggies 5 runs on 5 hits. And Savoy calls for timeout, steps out, readjusts his batting gloves, and steps back in. Scott from the stretch. Runner at second, Whitman with the lead. And there's a wild pitch as Whitman goes to third. There you see Paul Whitman standing at third base. Third base coach Sean Neal down there in the coach's box as Savoy digs in. Scott from the stretch. Here's the pitch inside. That's ball 3. 3-0 count on the Buffs' designated hitter. Here's the windup. Strike 1. Scott from the stretch. Strike 2. The count goes full. Matthew Scott looking to get out of the inning. Foul ball right side. Scott from the stretch. There's a liner to left. Ranging to his left is Driver, makes the catch, and that'll retire the side. For the Buffs, 3 runs on 3 hits. They left 1 on base. We go to the 8th. West Texas leads at 12-5. You're watching Buffalo Baseball on the LSC Digital Network.
Joints begin to fail. It's more than an inconvenience. The relentless grinding pain slows you down and can even stop you from doing the things you enjoy in life. At Physicians Surgical Hospitals, our skilled orthopedic experts are using advanced robotic surgeries to get you back to being you sooner with a less painful recovery. We're doing more than restoring joints. We're restoring lives.
A smile is understood in any language. It represents joy, love, and shows you care. At Full Smile Dental, our mission is to build lifelong relationships one smile at a time by providing accessible, compassionate, quality care with the personal touch of friendship. Come see us at Full Smile Dental, located in Canyon, Amarillo, Dumas, and Dalhart, and ask us about our free Whitening for Life program.
Welcome back to Wilder Park as we head to the top of the 8th inning with WT leading Cameron 12-5. Aggie third baseman Jace Clem leads off the inning, takes a ball. As the Buffs' Nick Marshall delivers, ball 2. Marshall threw 7 innings, 5 runs on 5 hits, struck out 8, walked 3. Clem digs in as Marshall delivers. Outside corner for a called strike. Makes the count 2 balls, 1 strike. As Marshall works out of the windup. The delivery, swung on and missed, strike 2. Got that one in on the fist. Clem flied out in the first, struck out in the third, and then walked and scored in the 5th. Steps out of the box. Now we're set to go. Marshall, the delivery, just a bit outside. Full count on the Aggies' third baseman, Jace Clem. Nick Marshall. Wind up the delivery, grounder up the middle. Ranging over, Mineta has the ball come up on them, and they're not going to be able to make a play. See if they're going to call that a hit or an error. They're going to give Clem a base hit on that as that ball took a nasty hop. Don't think AstroTurf or artificial turf doesn't have bad hops in it. That'll bring up the Aggie center fielder, Jordan Harrison. We're going to have a pitching change for the Buffs. Here in the top of the 8th, Buffs lead at 12-5. Let's take a timeout. You're watching West Texas Baseball on the LSC Digital Network.
Choosing the right countertops for your kitchen can be tricky. Nowadays, there are hundreds of colors, patterns, and textures and materials that range from natural to engineered stone. Marble Depot is here for you throughout every step of the process. And yes, we do have a lot of options that might make that decision a little harder, but we're also going to ask the right questions so that you get the most out of your investment. So come by our showroom and let us help create what you've been dreaming of.
Welcome to MetaDrive Pharmacy, Canyon's hometown pharmacy for over 32 years. We greet you by name, and our pharmacists take the time to counsel you and answer all your questions. Our Health Mart Pharmacy specializes in serving our community with fast, friendly, professional service and the highest quality medicines and health products. We accept most insurance plans, including Medicaid and Medicare, and we offer free in-town delivery to your home or business. Come visit us for all your healthcare needs.
This is what a new heart valve looks like. This is what a bypassed artery looks like. And this is what a repaired aortic aneurysm looks like. The BSA Heart and Vascular Team is here to help you live life to the fullest. From our state-of-the-art cardiac technologies to our dedicated heart specialists, our goal is to help you take the very best care of your heart so you can enjoy everything else that matters to you. BSA for life.
Sasha Schneider on for the Buffaloes here in the top of the 8th. Schneider has made 2 appearances, pitched an inning and 2/3, walked 1, struck out 2, allowed 6 runs, has a 32.40 ERA. And he will come on to face Aggie center fielder Jordan Harrison. Harrison's 1 for 3 thus far. Grounded to short in the second, grounded to second in the third, and then smoked one over the right field fence for a 3-run home run in the 5th. And he's at bat now with a runner on first. Schneider's first pitch a strike, second pitch swung on and missed for strike 2. Schneider, a 5'10" junior from Peoria, Arizona. Schneider looks in, out of the stretch. At Harrison, swung on and missed. Struck him out. So 1 down in the inning as Schneider retires Harrison on 3 pitches. That brings up catcher Nick Sanchez. Sanchez is 0 for 3. Grounded to short in the second, struck out in the fourth, grounded to short in the fifth. Sanchez, Schneider from the stretch. The delivery lined to center for an out. So 2 quick outs. And that'll bring up first baseman Ryan Allen. Allen digs in against Schneider. He homered in the second, walked in the fourth, grounded to second in the sixth. Here's the stretch. Strike 1 called. Oh, 1 count as Schneider takes to the hill. Looks in at the Aggie first baseman. Second pitch just outside. Evens the count at 1-1. Schneider gets the signal from the stretch. The 1-1 delivery, grounded to first base, gets by the buff first baseman Ortiz. And it'll be a single, and the Aggies have runners on first and second with 2 out in the 8th. That brings up left fielder Bo Driver. Driver struck out in the second, struck out in the fourth, struck out in the 6th. He's got an opportunity here as he lines one to left field. Runners advance, and the bases are loaded. First pitch swinging, Bo Driver singles to left. And that'll bring up designated hitter Zach DeLong. DeLong has singled, struck out, and grounded to second. Now comes up with the bases loaded, 2 outs in the top of the 8th. The Buffaloes leading 12-5. Schneider's pitch low. Ball 1. Second pitch by Schneider. Hits the corner for a called strike. 1-1. 2 outs. Top of the 8th. Aggies with the bases loaded. Schneider from the stretch. The delivery swung on and missed. Strike 2. So Sasha Schneider comes on following a leadoff single by Jace Clem. Clem's currently down at third base. Schneider has loaded the bases, but looking to close out the inning. Here's the delivery. Strike three call. Strikeout number 2 for Sasha Snyder. Throws a wet towel on the Aggies uprising. For the Aggies, no runs on 3 hits. They left 3 on base. We go to the bottom of the 8th. Buffaloes lead at 12-5. You're watching WT Baseball on the LSC Digital Network.
80 years, the Lone Star Conference has been committed to excellence. What began in 1831 as a 5-team conference has grown to 18 institutions spanning 4 states. And while membership has changed, the pursuit of athletic success and academic excellence has never wavered. 119 national championships, over 2,000 All-Americans, and nearly 300 academic All-Americans. Celebrating 90 years of success, this is the Lone Star Conference.
WT student athletes drink low-fat chocolate milk post-workout because it helps replenish and restore muscles quickly to their peak potential. Scientific studies suggest that the immediate benefits of low-fat chocolate milk include boosted performance, improved training, and higher recovery rates in athletes. Add low-fat chocolate milk to your post-workout routine.
Go Bucks!
They generally take 3.5. Welcome back to Wilder Park, where we have a pitching change for the Cameron Aggies. As on to pitch for the Aggies, left-hander Ben Williams. Williams has made 1 previous appearance, pitched an inning and 2/3. Walked 3, struck out 2, has a 3.24 ERA. And leading off for the Buffaloes, it's going to be Ryan Johnson, the left fielder. Johnson 1 for 4 with a double and a hit by pitch. As we are in the bottom of the 8th, and the Buffaloes leading 12-5. Williams from the stretch as Johnson lofts one to right field. Coleman floats over, makes the catch. 1 away. That'll bring up the catcher, Kennedy Badgett. Badgett doubled and scored back in the 5th. Is 1 for 4 thus far. Williams' pitch, breaking pitch, drops in for a strike. Williams, a freshman from Frisco, Texas. Working from the stretch. Breaking pitch, hits the outside corner. Called strike. 1-2 our count. One away here in the bottom of the 8th as Johnson takes a pitch high for a ball. 2-2. The lights from the Wilder Park, or the shadows from the Wilder Park backstop, now extending midway out through the infield as Badgett swings and misses. First strikeout of the game for Ben Williams. With 2 down, Adam Becker, the Buffs' third baseman, steps up. Becker doubled in the second. Had a 2 RBI double in the 5th, tripled in the 7th, and now has singled in the 8th. So Adam Becker enjoying a 4-for-5 day at the plate. He'll be down at first base as right fielder Will Fenning steps in. Fenning's 1 for 3. As he swings and lofts one to right, camping under it's Coleman for the out. So for the Buffs in the bottom of the 8th, no runs, 1 hit, 1 runner left on base. We'll take it to the 9th. Buffs lead it by 7. You're watching West Texas A&M baseball on the LSC Digital Network.
Joints begin to fail. It's more than an inconvenience. The relentless grinding pain slows you down and can even stop you from doing the things you enjoy in life. At Physicians Surgical Hospitals, our skilled orthopedic experts are using advanced robotic surgeries to get you back to being you sooner with a less painful recovery. We're doing more than restoring joints. We're restoring lives.
Sasha Snyder back out for his second inning of work as he tries to nail it down for the Buffaloes here in the top of the 9th, with WT leading 12-5. Buffs with 12 runs on 13 hits. The Aggies with 5 runs on 8 hits. The Aggies led 5-3 after 4.5, but it's been all Buffs since then as they scored 4 in the 5th, 2 in the 6th, and 3 in the 7th. Leading off for the Aggies is Eric Oman, the top of the order. Takes the first pitch for a ball. Second pitch. Sharp grounder to third. Up with it is Becker. His throw to first retires Oman. 1 away, the top of the 9th. That'll bring up Holden Tate. Tate's 0 for 2 today. Snyder's pitch swung on and fouled off. Games 2 and 3 of this 4-game set scheduled for tomorrow afternoon, with first pitch at 1 o'clock here at Wilder Park. There's a fly ball to right. Fenning's there, 2 down. Buffs 1 out away from taking a victory in the opening game of a 4-game series with the Cameron Aggies. As stepping in is second baseman Ben Williams. Williams 2 for 4 today with a double in the 3rd and a single in the 5th. He also scored in the 5th. Schneider's first pitch, low and away, ball one. Schneider from the stretch. Here's the delivery, strike call. One count, 2 down. Top of the ninth. Buffalo's leading it 12-5. Williams digs in against Schneider. Takes a called strike. One ball, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Sasha Schneider has had a strong inning in 2/3, striking out 2. Here's a grounder up the middle. Manetta's got it over to first, and that'll do it as West Texas A&M runs their record to 7-0 with a 12-5 victory over the Cameron Aggies in the opener of a 4-game set here at Wilder Park. We're going to take a timeout. We'll be back to wrap it up. You're watching West Texas A&M baseball on the LSC Digital Network.
It's got the looks, the style, the performance. Your new car is everything you always dreamed of, and now it's here. First Financial Bank was happy to help put you behind the wheel with a new car loan at a competitive rate and fast, friendly, local approval. It's service that just comes naturally to us. Much like a love of tradition comes naturally to you. First Financial Bank, you first. Member FDIC.
Jenkins Doors and Windows began serving the Texas Panhandle in 1927, and we take pride in being a part of your neighborhood. We don't use false promises or gimmicks. We simply offer quality doors and windows at a fair price, and we stand behind every sale. Jenkins is family owned and operated, and proudly continues the traditions of quality and excellence that started over 80 years ago. Call us at 372-4336 or stop by our showroom at 820 West 6th and let our knowledgeable staff help you pick out the perfect doors and windows for your home.
Whenever y'all are done, I'm going to take this and go to that outfield camera and see if I can't correct it a bit. And then maybe do that before the game tomorrow so that it's not effed up all day long. Thank you so much for stepping in. What are we doing with all the equipment? This all will stay here.
Are big and bright, deep in the heart of Texas. The prairie wide
Bud Light, proudly brewed
in the heart of Texas.
When you choose natural gas, chocolate chip cookies get a little tastier. Homes get a little cozier. Bank accounts tend to put on some weight. Towels get fluffier. Showers stay hotter for longer. And our blue planet gets a little greener. When it comes to choosing energy that's clean and efficient, nothing else could be more American. Atmos Energy, your natural gas company.
It's got the looks, the style, the performance. Your new car is everything you always dreamed of, and now it's here. First Financial Bank was happy to help put you behind the wheel with a new car loan at a competitive rate and fast, friendly, local approval. It's service that just comes naturally to us. Much like a love of tradition comes naturally to you. First Financial Bank, you first. Member FDIC.
Jenkins Doors and Windows began serving the Texas Panhandle in 1927, and we take pride in being a part of your neighborhood. We don't use false promises or gimmicks. We simply offer quality doors and windows at a fair price, and we stand behind every sale. Jenkins is family owned and operated, and proudly continues the traditions of quality and excellence that started over 80 years ago. Call us at 372-4336 or stop by our showroom at 820 West 6th and let our knowledgeable staff help you pick out the perfect doors and windows for your home.
Welcome back to Wilder Park, where West Texas A&M just ran their season record to 7-0. They are 5-0 in Lone Star Conference play. Cameron falls to 4-5 overall, 4-5 in Lone Star Conference play as the Buffs take a 12-5 series opening win over the Aggies. The winner was Nick Marshall. He runs his record to 3-0. He went 7 innings today, allowing 5 runs on 6 hits, walked 3 and struck out 8. Losing pitcher was Marcus Faria. His record falls to 0-3. He went 5 innings, allowing 8 runs on 8 hits, walked 3, and struck out 2. For the Buffs, the big bats, Adam Becker, the big third baseman, went 4 for 5 with 2 doubles and 4 ribbies. Eddie Savoy went 3 for 4 with a double and a home run for 2 ribbies. For Cameron, Bo Williams was 2 for 5 with a double and a ribby. Ryan Allen was 2 for 3 with a home run. And center fielder Jordan Harrison went 1 for 4 with a home run. Again, the Buffs win it 12 for 5. For the Buffs, 12 runs on 13 hits, 1 error, 5 runners left on base. For the Aggies, 5 runs on 8 hits, no errors, and 7 runners left on base. 2 teams will be back at it tomorrow right here from Wilder Park. First pitch of the doubleheader set for 1 o'clock. Adam Kiefer will be on to bring you those 2 games. First game at 1 o'clock, 4 o'clock with the anticipated start of the second game. And then the series will wrap up Sunday with a single game at 1 o'clock. Again, our final score today, the Buffs win it 12-5. Until tomorrow, I'm Kent Johnson. Thanking you for joining us. Our outstanding Thunder Vision crew, great job. Until tomorrow,